If you're on a budget and you're shopping for a Bowie knife, in this video we're going to be taking a look at one that just may pique your interest. Stick around. A few months back, I was going out and buying all these different tracker knives, budget trackers, to see which one I liked the best. And out of all that I went through, the tracker from WARIVO was my favorite. It was only like 40 bucks. It was a hunkin' piece of D2 steel. I love the way the handle was designed. I just loved everything about it. And I've made a couple of videos on it. And I think I've probably sold right many of those for WARIVO. I'm not even an affiliate of WARIVO, but the video got their attention and they have sent me another knife to review. Now this is a Bowie knife that's been released in March, and I'll get you to take a look at this. It's got a real nice look to it, but let's talk a little bit more about it. According to their specs, this is a handmade blade right here in the USA. There's the sheath that it comes with. It's just got that classic look to it. It does come well oiled out of the box, so you'll unwrap a bunch of paper. It was well oiled. This is not a full tang knife. Now it looks heavier than it is. It does have a nice weight of 14 ounces, but it's not too heavy. Let's do a slice test. It comes fairly sharp out of the box. You know, slicing a water bottle is not the most impressive thing in the world, but I've tested knives where I couldn't even slash the water bottle. So this is an 8-inch blade, and this is J2 steel. I have never reviewed a knife that's J2 steel. I know it's a budget steel. It's not up there with D2 steel, but it's one of those stainless steels that's going to probably lose its edge really quick, but you can touch it up really quick. You ask my honest opinion though, I say they make this in D2 steel, make it full tang, and charge about $25 more for it, because this is a $25 Bowie knife. If you had to ask me the most popular budget steel based on all the knife reviews that I've done in the last 2 years, I'd have to go with D2. So let's talk about the practical side of this knife. Well, it's very comfortable in the hand, and if you've got a big gargantuous hand, you'll like it as well, because it's a big old fat gargantuous handle. It feels good in my hand, and it's got a nice feel to it. You know, when you're chopping, you're going to do some heavy duty stuff with a blade like this. This is a good walk around the woods blade, and just a big hunking blade to have with you, you know, wherever you go, out on a trail, down on a campsite. It's just one of those big blades that you can do a lot with. You could even chop with it if you want to. It's weighted enough for that. Let's just see how it bites into this tree here. Could definitely use some sharpening, but you'll be able to sharpen this blade up pretty quick. Just a big blade for some big stuff. Knock around with it, split some wood if you want to. Here's what I mean about the sharpness. You know, it's not biting into that wood that well. So WARIVO, this is a kind of a dull blade here. Now, if you like the look of it, you can put an edge on it, but it's not biting into that wood very well. So it doesn't come very sharp out of the box. And you can throw any knife you want to throw. But I will tell you right now, if you start throwing a blade that's not full tang, don't expect it to last too long. But let's give this a throw. Got to make a little distance adjustment, which I'm kind of glad that miss happened, to see how well this is held up, and it's already kind of turned the handle a little bit. So that's what I'm talking about. So I do those throwing tests because a lot of people want to see them. Oftentimes when I don't do a throwing test, people ask, how well does it throw? I don't recommend this for throwing. You will destroy this immediately if you throw it. It's not full tang, and it's really not well balanced for throwing either. Just because you can throw a knife doesn't make it a good throwing knife. You can see what throwing one time and missing did to the handle. So not a thrower. Let's do some tip torture. Holding up to that pretty well. Let's go a little deeper in. All right, we'll give the tip a pass. So here are my closing thoughts with regards to this Bowie knife from WARIVO. It is what it is. It's a $25 knife. And if you like the look of this blade and you plan on carrying it around and just doing some reasonable task with it, it's heavy enough and solid enough to treat you well. I think you'll find it very comfortable. It definitely looks good, but it does not come very sharp out of the box. You're going to have to put an edge on it. I do prefer a blade like this to be full tang. I don't think that you have to spend a whole lot more to find something that's full tang for something like this. I like to be able to beat my knives to death, and I will tell you, if I can't beat a knife to death, I'm not a fan of it, and that's just how I am. Now, a lot of people are not that way. I don't care if a knife is a budget knife. I like to be able to beat it up, and it doesn't give me a good feeling when I can't beat a blade up. All right, I believe that brings us to the end of the review. I think I've displayed enough of the features of this knife to kind of give you an idea of its capabilities. If you haven't checked out that WARIVO tracker knife, go check that one out. Now, that's a solid blade. I give that thing an A1 review for what it is, but I think this knife here has some opportunities. At the same time, it's 25 bucks. I think it's beautiful. And I think that if you don't plan on beating it up too much, you'll get a lot of use out of it. But thank you so much for watching. Catch you next time.